Hello, my friends. Welcome. Welcome to this story. Today we will listen to something very special. It is not only a history lesson. It is not only about grammar, or rules, or tests. No. Today we will hear the story of a voice. A voice that speaks to the whole world. That voice is English. Maybe you are learning English right now. Maybe you sometimes feel it is very difficult. Maybe you feel shy when you speak. But I want you to remember something very important: English is alive. English has a story. And when you learn English, you are part of that story too. Imagine English like a person. Imagine it like a traveler, walking through time and across the world. This traveler carries words, ideas, and dreams. This traveler speaks to kings, to children, to workers, to singers, to dreamers. This traveler is English. And you are walking with it right now. As we listen, I want you to feel close to the language. I want you to feel that English is not outside you, but inside you. When you say, hello, English smiles. When you say, thank you, English bows its head. When you learn a new word, English grows stronger with you. This story is big. It is more than 1,000 years old. But it is also your story today. So take a breath. Relax. Open your heart. And let us begin this journey together. Before we start the story of English, let me ask you a question. A simple question, but a powerful one. Why do you learn English? Stop for a moment. Think. Do you learn English for school? For work? For travel? For fun? Maybe you want to study in another country. Maybe you want to make new friends. Maybe you want to understand your favorite songs, movies, or games. Maybe you want to feel free in the big world. Every person has a reason. Every learner has a dream. So I ask again, why do you learn English? Listen to this little dialogue. Teacher, why do you learn English? Student, I learn English for my future. Another student, I learn English for my job. Another, I learn English because I love music. Do you see? Every reason is different, but every reason is important. English is not only grammar. English is not only vocabulary lists. English is connection. Connection with people. Connection with ideas. Connection with the world. When you know your reason, you feel more energy. When you say, I learn English for my dream, you give power to your learning. So hold your reason in your heart as we listen to this story. It will give you strength when you feel tired. Now, let me tell you something wonderful. The story of English is not only about the past. It is not only about kings, or wars, or books. It is about you. Yes, you. Because when you learn English, the story continues. The story becomes alive inside you. Imagine, more than 1,000 years ago, in a small village, a man said the word bread. Today, you can also say bread. His voice lives inside your voice. More than 400 years ago, Shakespeare wrote, love. Today, you can say, love. His word becomes your word. The story of English is not far away. It is close. It is in your mouth, in your heart, in your mind. Listen to this. I say, hello. You say, hello. I say, thank you. You say, thank you. Simple words, but very old words. Words that travel time to meet you. So when you study English, do not think, this is not my language. No. Think, this is my story. I am part of English. Every time you learn a new word, you write a new page. Every time you speak, you continue the story. So remember, this story is also your story. Let us go back in time. More than 1,000 years ago, in a green land called England, people spoke many small languages. There were tribes called the Angles, the Saxons, and the Jutes. They came from across the sea, from lands that are today called Germany and Denmark. They brought strong, simple words. Words like house. Words like bread. Words like day and night. This was the beginning of English. We call it Old English. If you heard Old English today, maybe you would not understand. It was very different. It sounded strange. But the heart of English was already there. Short, strong words. Words of daily life. Words for family, home, food, and time. These words are still alive today. For more than 1,000 years, they stayed. Isn't that amazing? Imagine a mother in the year 800 saying, night. Imagine you today saying, night. The word is the same. Time passes. People change. But the word lives. That is the beginning of English. English is a language that loves change. It never stays the same. After the time of the Saxons, new voices came. The church came with Latin. Kings and castles came with French. From Latin, English learned words like school, animal, family. From French, English learned words like beauty, music, color, peace. Old English gave us strong roots. Latin and French gave us soft sounds. Together, they made English bigger, wider, richer. It was like a tree. The roots were Old English. The branches were French and Latin. The tree grew strong because it welcomed change. Listen to these words: house, Old English; family, Latin; beauty, French. Repeat with me: house, family, beauty. Can you feel the mix? That is the power of English. It takes from many places. It becomes strong because it is open. That is a lesson for us too. When we welcome change, we grow. When we welcome new ideas, we become bigger. English teaches us this. As time passed, Old English changed into Middle English. This was around 1,000 years ago. People could now understand more, share more, dream more. A man named Geoffrey Chaucer wrote the Canterbury Tales. It was one of the first great works in Middle English. People laughed, cried, and learned from his stories. English began to feel new. The words old, new, and change were not only ideas. They were real in the language. Let us practice. Say with me, old. Say again, new. One more, change. Yes. You can feel the rhythm. Old becomes new. New becomes old. Change is always there. English is never the same, but it never disappears. It grows. It includes more people. It makes space for more voices. That is why English became strong. And then came one of the most famous names in the story, William Shakespeare. He lived more than 400 years ago. He was a writer, a dreamer, a master of words. Shakespeare played with English like a child plays with toys. He mixed words. He made new phrases. He asked big questions. One of his questions was, to be or not to be? And English answered. English became beautiful, powerful, full of feeling. In his time, English was no longer only for small villages. It became a language for plays, poems, and big ideas. English was not only strong. It was also creative. It could make people laugh. It could make people cry. It could make people think. Shakespeare helped English grow. He gave it wings. And with wings, English could now fly. Now listen. The story of English does not stay in one land. English travels. English crosses seas. English moves with ships, with soldiers, with traders, with travelers. Like a bird, English flies. Like a river, English flows. Like a ship, English sails. Imagine the sea. Imagine the wind. Imagine English standing on a ship, saying, I will go. And it went. Across the Atlantic to America. Across the oceans to Africa. Across the seas to Asia. To islands far away. Everywhere, English left a word, a sound, a story. In each place, English listened. In each place, English learned. In each place, English grew. English did not stay the same. It became many voices. But always, it was still English. Let us follow English to America. When English arrived there, it met new lands and new people. It learned new words from Native American languages, tomato, chocolate, canoe. It learned from Spanish words. It learned from African words. It learned from Dutch words. In America, English mixed and changed. It became American English. Listen carefully, in Britain, people write color. In America, people write color. Same word. Different spelling. Same story. Different voice. That is the beauty of English. One language, many faces. Each face tells a story. In America, English became faster, simpler in some ways. It created new words, like downtown, cowboy, movie. English in America became strong, loud, full of energy. And still today, American English and British English live together. Two branches of one tree. Now let us travel with English again. This time to India. In India, people spoke hundreds of languages, Hindi, Urdu, Bengali, Tamil, Telugu, and many more. English arrived, and it did something important. It became a bridge. It helped people from different regions talk to each other. English listened to India, and it learned. It learned words like pajamas, bungalow, shampoo. Yes, those are English words now, but they came from India. English took them, carried them, and shared them with the world. Isn't that amazing? In India, English became not only the language of trade or school. It became part of daily life. Students studied in English. Workers used English to connect. Families used English when they met people from different parts of the country. English said, I will help you connect. And even today, in India, English is alive, full of color, full of energy, full of stories. Now let us follow English to Africa. Africa is a big, beautiful continent with hundreds of languages. In Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, Ghana, and many other countries, people already had their own strong voices. When English arrived, it did not replace all those voices. No. The local languages stayed alive. People still spoke Swahili, Yoruba, Zulu, Hausa, Amharic, and many more. But English became a bridge. A bridge for trade. A bridge for study. A bridge for travel. For example, a man in Nigeria who speaks Igbo and a woman who speaks Hausa may not understand each other's local language. But if they both know English, they can talk. That is the power of English. It does not erase voices. It walks beside them. It helps them connect. English also learned from Africa. It took words like safari from Swahili. It learned sounds from songs, from stories, from daily life. English in Africa is strong, colorful, and full of rhythm. Listen, hello, how are you, in an African accent feels warm, musical, alive. English in Africa is not the same as English in Britain. It has its own taste, its own music, its own story. And that is what makes English so beautiful. From Africa, English traveled again. Across the ocean, it reached the Caribbean, Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, and more islands full of sunshine and sea. In the Caribbean, English met African languages, French, and Spanish. It mixed with them. It danced with them. It became Creole. It became reggae. It became poetry. English in the Caribbean has rhythm, like drums. It has music, like waves on the beach. It has color, like the bright houses in the towns. When you listen to Caribbean English, you feel joy. It is full of energy, full of life. For example, in Jamaica, someone might say, Wagwan. It means, what's going on, or, how are you? That is English, but with a local flavor. It shows us something important: English is not one fixed thing. English is many things. It changes with the people who use it. In the Caribbean, English says, I am alive. I am free. I am full of song. That is why so many songs and poems from the Caribbean make people smile all over the world. Now, let us leave history for a moment. Let us look at people today. Let us meet a student. Her name is Maria. She lives in Brazil. She goes to school every day. She studies Portuguese, math, science, and also English. At first, English feels hard for her. She says, hello, my name. Maria. She feels shy. Her voice is small. She thinks, maybe I cannot do this. But Maria does not stop. Every day she tries. She listens to the teacher. She repeats the words. She writes in her notebook. She practices with her friends. And something happens. One day, she meets a tourist in her city. The tourist says, hello. Maria answers, hello. Welcome to Brazil. The tourist smiles. Maria smiles too. In that moment, Maria feels strong. She feels happy. She says to herself, yes. I can speak English. That little success gives her courage. That courage helps her learn more. Do you see? English is not only in books. English is in life. English gives Maria confidence. And English can give you confidence too. Next, let us meet Ahmed. He lives in Egypt. He loves to travel. One day, he goes to Thailand for a holiday. He is excited, but also nervous. He does not know Thai. He wonders, how will I ask for help? How will I find my way? At the airport, he needs to find the bus. He goes to the information desk. He thinks carefully. He speaks in English, where is the bus? The worker answers, the bus is outside. Please go left. Ahmed understands. He finds the bus. He feels so happy. His English is not perfect, but it works. On the bus, he meets a traveler from Japan. The Japanese traveler does not know Arabic, and Ahmed does not know Japanese. But they both know some English. They say, hello. My name is Ahmed. Hello. My name is Ken. They talk in simple English. They laugh together. They share their travel stories. That day, Ahmed learned something important: English is not only a subject. English is a tool. A tool to travel. A tool to connect. A tool to make friends. Now let us meet Anna. She lives in Germany. She works in an international company. Every day, she talks to people from Japan, Italy, and Canada. They all have different first languages. One speaks Japanese. One speaks Italian. One speaks French. But how do they work together? They use English. They say, good morning. They say, please send the email. They say, the meeting starts at 10. Work becomes possible because of English. Without English, they cannot connect. With English, they can share ideas, finish projects, and succeed. At first, Anna feels nervous. She thinks, my English is not perfect. But when she speaks, her colleagues understand her. They do not care if her grammar is 100% correct. They care that she can communicate. And slowly, Anna learns to feel confident. English helps her do her job well. English helps her meet people from all over the world. English is not only grammar. English is work. English is life. English is success. Finally, let us meet Diego. Diego is a teenager in Mexico. He loves music. Every day, he listens to songs on his phone. Many of his favorite songs are in English. At first, he does not understand the words. He only hears the music. But he sings anyway. He repeats the sounds. He tries to copy the voice. Slowly, he begins to hear the words. He learns, love, dream, hope. He writes them in his notebook. He looks them up. One day, he understands a whole sentence. He feels so proud. English becomes more than words for Diego. It becomes music. It becomes his dream. It becomes his joy. When Diego sings in English, he feels connected to the world. He feels that he can go anywhere, meet anyone, and share his song. That is the magic of English. It can be work, travel, school, but it can also be fun, art, and music. So what do we see from these stories? Maria, Ahmed, Anna, Diego, they are all different. They live in different countries. They have different reasons for learning English. But they all use English as a bridge. A bridge for students. A bridge for travelers. A bridge for workers. A bridge for dreamers. English connects people who do not share the same first language. It makes the world smaller. It makes the world closer. It makes the world friendlier. Think of English like a bridge across a river. On one side is you. On the other side is another person. You want to meet, but there is water between you. English is the bridge that lets you walk across. Without the bridge, you stay apart. With the bridge, you meet in the middle. That is the real power of English. Now let us talk about business. Around the world, in offices and companies, English is the common voice. A man in China writes an email to a woman in France, in English. A meeting in Dubai brings people from 10 different countries. They all speak English. Without English, the meeting cannot happen. With English, the meeting is a success. Words like meeting, project, team, goal, these words are used everywhere. Let me show you a little dialogue. Boss, please, join the meeting at 9. Worker, yes, I will join. Boss, what is our project goal? Worker, our goal is to finish on time. Simple, clear, and useful. English in business is not about difficult words. It is about connection. It is about action. It is about making things happen. That is why so many people around the world learn English for work. But English is not only for business. It is also for science. Scientists, doctors, engineers, researchers, they share their ideas in English. A scientist in Japan wants to share a discovery. He writes it in English. A doctor in Egypt wants to read about a new treatment. She reads it in English. A student in Brazil wants to study physics. He reads books in English. Science speaks English so that knowledge can move across borders. The word knowledge means understanding. And English is the door to that understanding. That is why universities around the world teach many classes in English. Because English is not only the language of business. It is the language of discovery, of invention, of progress. When you learn English, you also open the door to science. And what about the internet? Today, the internet is everywhere. On your phone, your computer, your tablet. The internet is global. And what is the language of the internet? Yes, English. Websites, videos, games, apps, so many are in English. Words like download, click, like, share, are now part of daily life. You use them even if your first language is not English. Think about social media. On Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, English is everywhere. A person in Korea can make a video in English. A person in Turkey can watch it. A person in Mexico can comment. English makes it possible. The internet is like a big city. English is like the main street. When you know English, you can walk anywhere in that city. You can join the conversation. You can be part of the world. That is why English today is not only a school subject. It is a life skill. Now, my friends, let us talk about something important. Fear. Many learners feel afraid when they try to speak English. Maybe you know this feeling. You open your mouth, but the words stop. You think, what if I make a mistake? You think, what if people laugh? You feel shy. You feel small. But let me tell you a secret, every English speaker started the same way. Nobody is born speaking English. Everybody learns step by step. Even the language itself started small. English was once a baby language, with only a few words. But it grew. And you can grow too. Mistakes are not your enemy. Mistakes are your teacher. Every mistake is a step forward. Imagine a child learning to walk. The child falls many times. Does the child stop? No. The child stands up and tries again. And finally, the child walks. You are the same with English. You may fall. You may make mistakes. But each time, you grow stronger. So do not be afraid. English is your friend. Let me tell you a story. A boy in Mexico wanted to learn English. In class, he stayed silent. He did not speak. When the teacher asked questions, he looked down. He was afraid to make mistakes. His classmates spoke, but he stayed quiet. He felt sad. But he had a dream. He wanted to travel. He wanted to meet people. So every night, in his room, he practiced alone. He listened to songs in English. He repeated the words softly. He read his notes again and again. He said, "Hello. How are you?" to the mirror. Slowly, he grew stronger. One day, his teacher asked again, "Can you answer this question?" The boy took a deep breath. He said, "Yes, I can." The class clapped. The teacher smiled. The boy felt proud. From that day, he spoke more. He made mistakes, but he did not stop. His dream gave him courage. His courage gave him a voice. And you can be like that boy. Another story. A girl in Vietnam wanted to learn English. She loved movies. She watched an English movie one night. But she understood nothing. She felt lost. She felt stupid. She wanted to stop. But she tried again. The next night, she watched the same movie. This time, she understood one word, friend. She felt a little hope. The next time, she caught two words, good friend. Slowly, very slowly, she understood more. Each time, she learned something small. And one day, she watched a whole movie without subtitles. She smiled. She laughed. She cried. She understood. She said, "I can do it." And she was right. Learning takes time. But small steps make a big difference. If she can do it, you can too. Now let us return to the big story. English is not a dead language. It is not frozen like a rock. English is alive, like a tree, like a river, like a bird. Every day, new words are born. Think of words like selfie, hashtag, emoji. These words did not exist 20 years ago. Now they are part of English. English grows with people. It grows with technology. It grows with culture. It grows with you. This means English is never finished. It is always changing, always moving. And you, as a learner, are also alive. You are not finished. You are always learning, always growing. That is why English and you are good friends. You both change. You both grow. You both stay alive. But here is something amazing. English is not only teaching you. English is also learning from you. Yes. When people around the world speak English, they bring their own sounds, their own culture, their own ideas. And English listens. When people in India use English, it changes. When people in Africa use English, it changes. When people in Korea, in Brazil, in Russia, in Turkey use English, it changes. And maybe when you speak, you also give something new to English. Your accent, your style, your words, they all become part of English. English is not only the teacher. English is also the student. So when you learn English, you are not outside. You are inside. You are helping the language grow. That is why English belongs to everyone. Some people think, English only belongs to Britain, or English only belongs to America. But that is not true. English belongs to the whole world. It belongs to India. It belongs to Africa. It belongs to Asia. It belongs to South America. It belongs to Europe. It belongs to islands in the sea. And it belongs to you. Yes, you. Because when you speak English, you are part of the story. You do not just learn English. You share English. You keep it alive. You give it new life. So do not think, I am not good enough. You are already part of English. You already belong. Remember this, English never stops. It never sleeps. It never dies. It keeps moving, keeps changing, keeps growing. It is like a river. The water flows and flows. It is like the sky. The clouds move and change. It is like the wind. You cannot see it, but you can feel it. English is always alive. And when you learn English, you are not outside the river. You are inside it. You are not outside the sky. You are under it. You are not outside the wind. You are breathing it. English carries you forward. It takes you to new places. It shows you new people. It brings you new dreams. And you are part of its movement. So let us look back for a moment. What have we learned? English began small, in villages with words like bread and house. Then it met Latin, French, and other languages. It grew bigger. It traveled across the world, to America, India, Africa, the Caribbean. It learned new words, new sounds, new stories. It became a bridge for students, for travelers, for workers, for dreamers. It became the language of business, science, and the internet. It became alive in your daily life. And now, it speaks with you. The story of English is not only about history. It is about today. It is about you. Now the question is, how can you continue this story? The answer is simple. Practice every day. Speak one sentence in English. Write one word in English. Listen to one song in English. Watch one video in English. Repeat. Repeat again. Small steps every day. Do not wait for perfect. Perfect will come later. Just practice. Imagine you plant a small seed. Every day, you give it water and sunlight. One day, it becomes a tree. Your English is the same. Every day, one word, one sentence, one step. And slowly, it becomes strong. It becomes big. It becomes alive inside you. And now, my friends, we come to the end of this story. But really, it is not the end. Because the story of English is not finished. The story is still being written. And who is writing it? You are. Every time you speak, you write the next line. Every time you learn, you write the next page. English began small. Now it speaks to everyone. And now, it speaks to you. So remember this line: the story of English is not finished, because I am writing the next chapter. Say it with me. Say it loudly. Feel it. Believe it. The story of English is not finished, because I am writing the next chapter. Yes, this is your story. Thank you for listening, thank you for learning, thank you for being part of English. The story continues with you.